Well, good morning, Armory. This is Dane coming at you with another Daily Dwell video. And today's devotional was in Matthew 27. And I'm currently out just walking the property with my daughter. It just stopped raining. It was kind of misting a little bit ago. But I'm still prepared because it's probably going to do more of that. And so, coming at you to talk about this day's reading. And before I do, I'll just share what's been going on with me today. I woke up this morning and I had 2 voicemails on my phone, both people who were upset and needed something from me. And so it was not the best start to the morning. And instead of, what would have been smart is me taking a moment to pray, ask the Lord how to handle it, and then, even take time to read my Bible and seek Him. I just decided to go for it, and I just started dealing with it. And then I just ended up starting the morning kind of on a down note. Was kind of grumpy. And then, of course, instead of after dealing with that, going to the Lord in prayer and reading my Bible, I decided it would be a good idea to look at the news, which is never a good idea. And I don't know why I do that. I haven't really looked at the news that much at all in the last couple of weeks, just because it was just getting super depressing. Like, everybody's going to die from the virus, and then, the stock market's going to crash, and we're all going to go into a Great Depression, and it's all just really depressing stuff. And so I don't know why I decided it was going to be a good idea for me to do that. So I spent a few minutes looking at that and was like, what in the world am I doing? I looked outside and it was raining, and I looked at the forecast and it's going to just be a gloomy day most of the day. And I was like, great, this is shaping up to be a great day. And then I turned to my Bible and opened up the passage, and it shouldn't have surprised me because I knew exactly what it was going to be about, because I knew where we were headed. Matthew 27. So, Matthew 27, Jesus goes on trial before Pilate, and also Judas hangs himself. And then Jesus is, basically traded by his people for them to release Barabbas, a murderer, instead of the Messiah. And then Jesus is mocked, beaten, scourged, and then led away to be crucified, where he was given a crown of thorns and mocked and beaten some more. And yeah, great day, great start to the day. And so it's just, it was this reminder. I had to stop and pray and think about this for a minute. And I think my takeaway is that no matter how bad the day gets, right? Like, my day started out not so great, and it's just kind of gloomy and whatever. That's a bad day. Like, Jesus's day, that was the worst day in human history. We could not have sunk any lower than that day, where we reject the King of the universe outright and decide not just to reject him as our authority, but to actually kill him. So that's bad. That's about as bad as you can get. And here's the deal. Humanity is bad. Sorry to break it to you. There's been, little moments where we're good and we see glimmers of hope and whatnot, but then it doesn't take long to look around and see how we're even treating each other sometimes in the middle of this COVID-19 stuff, and see that we're still just wicked human beings on this planet. And whatever good is there is a reflection of the good in God, but it can be really easy to be overwhelmed by the sorrow and the depression and the wickedness in the world. I think that might be very well why Judas went the way he did when he hung himself was just because he'd given up all hope of finding forgiveness, of trusting in Jesus. And right now it's a scary time for a lot of people, and they don't have the hope of Jesus in their life. And that's just, it's not a good place to be. It's a very scary place to be. So thinking about all that, I'm making it even gloomier. But here's the deal. I know it's not in Matthew, and we're not quite there yet. But in Luke's gospel, we see when Jesus is on the cross, he does cry out for his Father to forgive them. And that's the amazing thing here, is Jesus is doing all of this because he loves us. He's doing it in order to forgive us. And no matter how bad of a day we're having, no matter how bad we've messed up, no matter how wicked humanity gets, even on the darkest day of our existence, where we put him to death, he was there for a reason. He was there because he loved us, and he was going to bring about a great good from this tragedy. And so that puts some things in perspective for me if I'm having a bad day or a gloomy day. It's, first of all, it's not nearly as bad as it was that day, which should help me put things in perspective. A couple phone calls in the morning aren't really that big of a deal. But the thing is if Jesus could go through all of that and love and forgive the people who were doing that to him, then how much more should I be able to love and forgive the people that might try to do me wrong and harm, and or even just annoy me, right? And so, I've been having a lot to think about already this morning, and I want to be like Jesus, and that's what we're called to be, even in the darkest days. He's not expecting perfection out of us, but he is asking us to be like him. And so even in these hard moments, in the dark days, we can be like him. We can love as he loves. We can forgive as he forgives, not by our own strength. That's made very clear in the story, but by the power of the Holy Spirit and the power of Jesus living in us, with us. We can do that. And so that's what I'm asking for this morning, for whatever other challenges might come. I know I've already probably messed up, and God's forgiven me for that. And now it's time for me to do things in his strength, his power. And so that'll be the rest of the day. That's my hope and prayer. All right. Love you guys. Hope you're doing well in this time. And I'm looking forward to tomorrow to celebrate Good Friday with you. Again, it's not because it was a good day. It was a very bad day, the worst of days. But the good that it brings about is the greatest good. And so I'm looking forward to celebrating that with you tomorrow. And then also Easter, of course, on Sunday. And I'm curious to hear, how are you going to be celebrating Easter at home? I'm making some phone calls today, connect with some of you, and I'll be asking that question to see what you guys are going to be up to on Easter. All right. Love you guys. Have a great rest of your day, even if it's a little gloomy.